Gaming going up against the, what is it, the Young Prodigies, I believe?
Cellium, Simp, TurnUp, and iLLey.
An interesting group, of course, being able to watch OpTic Gaming for the first time in this tournament. A very interesting matchup between these two, as Formal, known for his sniper play in the past, and will continue on with that car. And looking on Cellium just around the corner, PPSH in hand, and kills going between either team. As I believe Formal does spot Cellium, finding yet again another kill, 1 versus 3, and this should be the first round in the books for the side of OpTic Gaming. But iLLey, not if he has anything to say about it, will take out one, but it still has 2 more competitors in his face now, Burns.
Yeah, Formal was absolutely disgusting with the sniper. I'm not even sure why. I believe it was Cellium who peeked out on him. But beautiful trades from OpTic Gaming. They slowly are crawling back in this one with their first round on the board.
Indeed, nice play there coming in from OpTic, as I think it's fair to say the first few frags coming in from Formal were big. And so this is an interesting matchup that we can kind of talk about for a moment here, Burns.
Simp versus Formal. Yeah. I mean, that's all I can think about in this matchup.
Oh, yeah. Well, you just have to kind of keep in mind as well, kind of search and destroy players, younger guys versus what is considered to be the dynasty at the moment. I mean, fair to say, of course, the best team throughout all the Jetpack Call of Duties. This team has kind of stuck together throughout for a very long time, and of course, off of a Call of Duty World Championship win.
Yeah, they have
just a few months ago.
I think they have all the momentum riding with them right now, and I think it's every team's goal to take it away from them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of that kind of comes into a series where it's like, okay, I'm now facing off against the greatest. Like I'm facing off against the best guys. So definitely kind of put the chip on your shoulder.
And you have to imagine the pressure that they face too, being on OpTic and winning as many tournaments as they have. I mean, they're playing for a lot. Scump, always some nice shots. Unfortunately, gets taken out by iLLey, the young gun.
Indeed, and there is kind of one thing that we can kind of discuss about this OpTic Gaming roster. And well, I was, of course, very happy for the side of OpTic for winning a title and whatnot, as we see the nice net coming in from TurnUp. And near quickscope there on to Crimsix. It looks like here comes the Molotov as well. Going for the plant. Is this one going to work out? We'll see if try to challenge this one. Shots on the side there from Crimsix. He will get tagged up at the end. Karma. We know how much damage this guy can do with a sniper of his own. One just toward his left tosses out the nade, but unfortunately the round will end, and it will be a round of the books yet again toward the side of UnderAgeProdigies. But I was kind of talking about before this round kind of started to partake is that one thing that I was very worried about once I saw, of course, OpTic Gaming winning the World Championship and whatnot, is that there can kind of be this level of, complacentness, right? Because of course, you've won a world title, you kind of have done it all. It's kind of like, what is there now to do? And it's like you're at the top of the mountain, no one's kind of around you.
I don't see them being
right, and that's one thing that I originally thought about, and I was like, well, maybe it's something that could kind of come into play. But I think with the excitement kind of around this boots in the ground title, a lot of people wanting to prove themselves, it's kind of like a new fresh start for everyone. Despite, of course, a world title in the back of everyone's minds, it still is a game that everyone's incredibly excited about. And well, of course, the Jetpack era has concluded, and OpTic was without question the most talented team throughout those 3 years. It is an interesting one to kind of be refreshed about, because it's not a sequence of, okay, well, that chapter kind of gets closed. It's, it's a new fresh start for everyone.
Yeah, and when you think about this OpTic Gaming lineup, I mean, they built this team for this game. They really, I think all the tournaments that they won in the Jetpack era were just extra. I think the game that they're supposed to shine in is World War II, and that's the lineup that they have to try to pursue what they had going on for them last year.
For sure. And, of course, trying to earn a lot of that search and destroy practice when it comes down to the next 2K is Formal getting the nice headshot onto iLLey, while Crimsix is on that current bomb site. Cellium going for the quick challenge. Formal left all by himself, and yet again another round, this time toward the side of UnderAgeProdigies. But like we said, a lot of teams in tonight's tournament, of course, the second annual Memorial $10,000 Search and Destroy, where teams are trying to get in that preparation for the 2K taking place tomorrow. Of course, a lot on the line when it comes down to seeding.
A lot on the line.
For CWL Dallas. I know United definitely trying to focus up quite a bit, trying to get as much practice as they can after finishing top 16. But
that's why we have you guys. We're getting our Search and Destroy practice in through these awesome tournaments, and it's for a great cause too. Yeah, it's really interesting to see, and the 2K tomorrow is such a big deal. I mean, every team only has 2 left to gain as many pro points as you can for one of the biggest tournaments of the year, and obviously the first event starts out the pro point kind of curriculum for everyone moving forward. And if you somehow place, top 2 in Dallas, you're essentially set making a pro league for season 1 of the CWL.
Absolutely. So a lot of practice, a lot of preparation coming into tournaments, even like this one. But of course, every tournament can be used as practice when it comes into future LAN tournaments. That's exactly what both these rosters are doing, primarily OpTic Gaming of the two, just because of this team being under 18. But if you aren't really familiar with the UnderAgeProdigies, that name definitely does fit them appropriately as a very talented group of young players and guys who've kind of risen throughout the scene over, well, technically the Jetpack era, and have definitely proven themselves so far in boots in the ground titles. I know a lot of people were very curious, Burns, about whether or not these guys specifically were going to be able to kind of hang with the old pros, and fair to say that there's not much of a difference, if a difference at all.
Yeah, I'm really glued to Cellium's gameplay right now. It's a lot of smart, decisive plays that he's trying to make, and unfortunately he's not going to win this round, but I feel like the big factor between these two teams, or why the young Prodigy squad has been able to gain a small edge on OpTic, is how they're positioning themselves with the sniper rifle. You see TurnUp, I feel like, playing a little bit more aggressive with the sniper rifle, while Form was playing really far back. I feel that aggressive style is letting their team kind of gain more map control and build trades quicker. I just feel like Formal, even though he is sitting at 7-5, he hasn't been able to make the correct trades since he's been so far away from his teammates.
Exactly. First bloods are big, but you gotta do something on top of it to make it really worth your while. Turn up from the back lines. Formal spawning just the side of him. As sniper shots will be exchanged.
And that's what you love to see too, is two confident snipers going up against each other. Like they were both confident they were going to get the kill, but TurnUp ends up coming out on top.
And TurnUp, as a guy who I've been able to watch in quite a few Search and Destroy tournaments, this is a line set that not many people know exists. Unfortunately, getting on that one, he will end up falling. 3 versus 2. And it looks like Scump making his way through bottom ship. Could be spawning out one. His teammate falls. And just behind him is one player. I'm not sure if he does get spotted out or not. Simp is here, but Scump will win the battle. 1 versus 1. Scump versus Cellium. And Cellium tagging in some shots, needing to go for the Russian. Scump is here, but no! It's Cellium who wins this 1v1 engagement. Scump not able to kind of hop inside of that ship, and honestly, it was a difficult play call for Scump in that situation, because if he goes inside of that ship, Cellium could easily be being there to try to cut him off, but goes for the full wraparound, and Cellium wins this one now 5 rounds to 2.
I think Scump was hoping that Cellium wouldn't take advantage of that head glitch.
Yeah.
He had 2 options to come through. He was either going to come through the midship door, or he was going to come straight around the corner and challenge Scump. But Cellium took the cautious play and got behind the head glitch. He took a couple of bullets, but Scump would have had to have absolutely hit a perfect shot to get that headshot off, and unfortunately it didn't come, and Cellium took full advantage of it. So super smart play by Cellium, and Scump returns the favor and gets first blood going into round number 8.
And I've actually seen OpTic do this strategy quite a bit. It's just kind of an early, random, aggressive round that teams don't necessarily expect, because, of course, progressively over time, this kind of fills that need there in bottom ship here. But,
I thought he was going to kill himself for a second.
I thought he was
like,
too
no,
for a
Scump,
second.
please.
I thought that was definitely possible. But TurnUp left all by himself to kind of highlight this round number 8, one that should be going over toward the way of OpTic Gaming, as it will be the case. But I like strategies kind of like that, kind of ones that definitely kind of catch you off guard. Of course, Simp having no idea that Scump will be kind of waiting in that bottom side position, kind of pulling an ace out of the hat, kind of an ace out of the deck.
Definitely.
One that's not necessarily expected, but obviously a sound strategy at that.
So on this OpTic Gaming lineup, who do you consider to be the X factor of the team?
I think, are we talking about overall, or are we talking about World War II?
X factor just meaning like person that you could rely on the most to secure the W for them?
It's really hard to kind of question that, because I feel like a lot of people would say Formal.
I'd say Karma.
I was going to say, because I feel like a lot of people would say Formal because of the supporting cast that he has around him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you talk about Infinite Warfare, Scump was saying, if Formal is not leading in KD and not leading KD for our team, then we are all doing something wrong, because we're playing around his AR style of play. His 1.3 at Champs happened for a reason, and that was because his team was definitely kind of preferring him to kind of walk around them and kind of act as his kind of personal bodyguards in some cases. Not to that extent necessarily, but kind of definitely playing around him as their star and realizing that. But I would say, as far as like an overall like person to watch out for, I would definitely kind of say I think it's a mix-up between Formal and Karma.
Yeah.
I think when it comes down to this new title, things will be different as that solidifying kill will come in, and iLLey will finish that one off on Karma as the defuse will happen as well. A map number 1 in the books is UnderAgeProdigies. We'll walk with map number 1 after 9 rounds of play. But kind of getting back to your point there, Burns, I think it really is a mixture between Karma and Formal. I think we're going to see a little bit of a change when it comes down to the overall like Slayer roles when it comes into World War II. But I think Formal's communication early on in the title is massive. And I think at different times they have overall players who not necessarily mean more than others, but like bring something else to the table.
For sure.
I think kind of watching at least the beginning of Infinite Warfare strategies, Formal like writing down countless different moments from different teams. He was kind of like the team analyst for them, while also being one of the best players in the game who already has great communication, has a fantastic shot. He provides, and to me, was definitely kind of one of the best players, if not the best player, toward the end of Infinite Warfare. But I think when it comes down to an X factor, like who kind of puts them above the rest, I think it has to be Karma, the man who makes the clutch plays and kind of does the dirty work for the team at all times and clutches up all the time.
Yeah, just real quick, I completely agree with you. I think Formal does a lot of the perfectly slain, always killing the leaderboards in every aspect when it comes to kills. And Karma's kind of like the supplementing duo that just gets the job done and all the little dirty work necessary. Just another person that doesn't really ever see the wrong play made from Karma.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second annual $10,000 Memorial Tournament. Live, of course, here from the UMG studio. It's myself, Lano, joined alongside by my good pal, Burns off. Burns, we're hopping in here toward map number 2, actually, of this best-of-3 series between OpTic Gaming and the UnderAgeProdigies, as it was the side of UnderAgeProdigies, who won USS Texas 6 rounds to 3 after what seemed to be a very interesting map number 1. We're now loading in here toward Arden Forest, as it will be a one-man advantage right now for the side of OpTic, despite the fact that the bomb just got planted from iLLey. We'll see how OG vents to retake this while having a few men down at the moment.
Yeah, they not only won, but they took it pretty convincingly, 6-3. It was a really impressive win from the young guns over at Young Prodigies. But we have Scump in a 1 versus 2 situation, and unfortunately he cannot clutch up at Cabin Hall. Just sprinting around the corner, not much he could do. Even if he wanted a gunfight here against iLLey, he was most likely going to get traded. Really good job on the side of Young Prodigies to set up and get the bomb down right away.
Definitely smart movement there, as it will be round number 1 in the books. And now looking on, you've got to be questioning kind of the side of OpTic Gaming and saying, what exactly can they do? And so far what you've seen in the prior series, is there something, that mistake that OpTic's making, or is it just certain plays that we're seeing coming in from UnderAgeProdigies that's giving them the lead quite a bit of the time?
To be honest, giving OpTic the benefit of the doubt, I think this is their first time playing Search and Destroy since the 2K last weekend. Just in all honesty, I really believe they've been focusing on their respawn, and this is their chance to get as much practice as they can and kind of squeeze it all in before the second most important online tournament of the month. So, but right now we have OpTic Crimsix staring at what we call U. It's a U-shaped little, whatever you want to call it. I was about to say vertebrae for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I actually listened to your guys' call-outs, and quite a bit of the time, like it's either you guys or Luminosity who I take call-outs from a lot of the time, just because it's like very
we
very
try to be
simplistic.
trendsetters.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. It's this entire area can kind of be called ruined, or can kind of called be ruined. So it's kind of like a difficult area. Like, do you call that ruined stairs? Do you call that like pillar? Like, I know a lot of people call it pillar, but
so we have pillar and
easier.
U, and then we kind of, depending on like what side we are on the map, we either call it our U or their U to kind of make sure that the guys are coordinating if they're trying to execute a kill or not.
Right.
We were actually going over callouts, and Clay, Justin, and I were able to kind of bring some like old school callouts to the guys on this game. I really think it's important to keep it as low syllables as possible.
Oh, so yeah, absolutely.
But
also at the same time, not taking away from like the
efficiency of the call out.
Exactly.
That's what you're trying to say, for sure. So calling something rock can be a lot more beneficial than rubble, because it's rock instead of rubble. It's still, even though people might think like, wow, you're overcomplicating it, communication is key in competitive Call of Duty.
It's all about seconds.
And that 1 second quicker could lead to that person reacting that much faster for a trade.
It can lead to a series win, which can lead to a title. Just in it, of course, that's kind of like the little things that kind of escape people. But like we were talking about earlier, Evil Geniuses taking literally 2 hours to go over pre-nades when it came to Search and Destroy tournaments.
Oh, I might
Oh
delete
my
that there.
Goodness. Karma just dodging those shots versus iLLey. That was an insane reaction. But like I said, it's the little things that really kind of come in to each match. But still looking on Formal 1 versus 2. TurnUp and Cellium left in his way. We'll see how he can bend to try to retake this one. Of course, that one going to be in cabin.
I
Not gonna be
love
an easy
Formal,
spot, an
one
easy
of the
spot.
best shots in the game, but I don't think he's clutching this one. I think cabin is too hard to break. Unless he's about to go bananas in here, and it's Formal, so he's probably going to do it.
Right.
I'm just changing my mind mid-map now.
Oh, it
All right.
also shuts down TurnUp.
Stream
the
can
one
hate me.
versus
He's
2.
just too good. He's too good.
The retake
no
from
way.
Matthew Piper as he just makes the site his own. He shuts down one just on the inside of the wall and holds
Maybe
that bomb
I
head
just shouldn't
glitch.
have doubted another person named Matt. We
Well,
both have a
maybe
first
not.
name.
Maybe
so,
not there.
yeah.
You said we both have a first name.
Of Matt.
Oh.
Oh,
I think we all have a
Yeah,
first name.
I
but,
think we do too.
Yeah.
Maybe the coffee cannot rejuvenate my brain real quick.
It definitely will. It definitely will. But definitely, speaking of the word, I think I've said like at least 100 times tonight, but looking on a massive momentum swing for the side of OpTic Gaming as Karma will dive inside of that crater. Unfortunately, we'll see the shot of Cellium along with iLLey and the snipe from Simp. Is it just everywhere you turn? It's an UnderAgeProdigies member.
I really like the point that you brought up. I didn't mean to cut you off, by the
you're
way,
good.
but the TurnUp and Simp seem to be switching up their
sniper,
snipers, and I think that's really smart because, number one, you're able to switch things up mid-round. Number two, you're able, maybe he's a better at sniper defensively at B, while Simp's a better, sniper defensively at A. And you can see how they work together in these search and destroy tournaments, and it really pays off. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's really good to have versatile players that can use multiple different guns and kind of throw people off guard, because if you just get sniped from Simp or a TurnUp by A, you're mostly not going to push it, and then you go B and there's still another sniper over there.
I'm glad that you kind of bring up the discussion between, of course, TurnUp and Simp, because I really like these two just for a few different reasons. First of all, being the fact that they're both very versatile, and of course being their primary roles at Simp, who most likely has a sub or a PPSH out, and TurnUp, who has that sniper rifle. And there have only been like really a few teams. One of them that kind of comes in mind is the old phase lineup back from Advanced Warfare, whenever you had Clayster on that sniper rifle, and then you had Zuma constantly flanking or kind of being in the face with that SMG. And that's something that kind of is replicated, I feel like, with these two, because you always have to be worried from long range when it comes down to those first bloods, and worrying in that you also have to be kind of worried about those close range fights as well, kind of never really feeling safe. And that's one thing that I think makes this roster such a lethal group, quite frankly, is just because they're good at honestly everything. They are a great search and destroy team, but they also have strategies down where they have a lot of versatility, and that's where a lot of teams can kind of see issues and whatnot, Burns, is because they're great at one thing, but they're not great at another, and that's where teams can kind of hit constantly on that kind of negative about their team. And when it comes to UnderAgeProdigies, of course, these guys are such young talent and are really groups to be looking at when it comes down to the future. And their overall team composition is just insane to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I really love that play from iLLey. He ran across the bridge and then came back underneath it in hopes that the person in middle was calling him out to go to cabin.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was only a couple of seconds away. I actually think the smartest option he could have had is to just plant the bomb. Probably could have had a more strategic advantage with them coming back from the juke that he just made, but he decided to peek middle in hopes that one of them was still looking down. What did you call it? East Road.
East Road,
East
yeah.
Road.
AKA final hard point.
Nice.
I'm not sure actually what E United was calling that one. Maybe just road.
I think we're calling it highway.
highway.
Okay.
Okay.
I think so.
That's not a bad call at all.
And then Clay and them are probably like, Matt doesn't even know our callouts. What is he doing over here?
Don't give away our early call strategies. The lack of syllables and the great descriptions.
I like
Give
it.
it
I mean, in reality, road would make more sense than highway. It's one
Road.
syllable compared
Yeah,
to
but it is kind of like difficult.
it's a
'cause-
general call out too.
Yeah, like if you hear like road like during the middle of like fights and whatnot, I feel like that one's kind of difficult to like maybe
everyone
MacGyver
just
out.
like literally look like where at the road.
Yeah, like which one? Like the whole street, or
there's three
maybe
potholes, there's two tanks, like
Yeah.
where on the road for sure.
Huh? I don't know.
I definitely think OpTic can pull this back and get it together.
Think so?
Yeah, I really do. I think that clutch from Formal kind of sparked a little bit of faith in the squad, and I just think they need to kind of regain a little bit, bring this back to a 4-4, and they can take this map and bring it to a map 3.
See what they can do. iLLey side peeking. Of course, here comes the Molotov. 2 found from Simp. I'm not sure if that was a collateral or not.
He's like, bye, TurnUp, but I'm taking out Scump with you.
Yeah, unfortunately shuts down his teammate. But at the same time that Formal throws at the Molotov, the kill doesn't come in from Simp. And oh my goodness, Formal shuts him down. Crimsix is there for the challenge, takes out Cellium in that particular exchange. But it comes down to a 1 versus 1. Crim versus iLLey. Veteran versus Young Gun. Who will come out with this fight? And it looks like iLLey going for the aggressive trade. And
This
Crimsix
guy's confident.
trying to stay up. iLLey's still challenging, and who's going to win this one? This is such a close-fought battle, and iLLey
The confidence you have to have in a 1v1 against Crimsix
versus Crim on the Boots of the Ground title.
to just follow him like this with the machine. I mean, iLLey's confidence level is so high, and regardless if it's on a line or land or whatever, I mean, you have to have kahunas to just follow Crim like that and close out a round like he just did. I bet Crim in his head is like, why is this kid following me? Like, what are you doing?
Like, okay, he's going to stop.
He's like, there's no way he's following me right now. Like,
and also you got to keep in mind, I mean, there have been a number of different plays, I'm sure throughout this tournament, ones that we've caught on broadcast and ones that we haven't, is the fact of having that SMG, or not the SMG, the back pocket machine pistol. I mean, having that gun is kind of like an extra 15 bullets that, like, you know, in an assault rifle, or like when you're kind of rushing against someone, having that little, you know, kind of pull-out pistol, that kind of, you know, secondary source of a weapon, has got to be huge for a lot of these players, because of course kind of running out of ammo isn't necessarily a problem, as it looks like TurnUp ends up dropping in that exchange there to, I believe that was Karma, you know, kind of, or Crimsix, excuse me, but kind of looking on, I feel like in that exchange, if it's a 1 versus 1, of course in the prior round, and you're in Crimsix's position, I mean, the shots that we end up seeing, the early aggression coming in from iLLey, he runs out of bullets, but he quickly switches over to that machine pistol. I mean, if things were patched, if that gun wasn't nearly as good, I mean, maybe he doesn't even switch to the pistol. Maybe he kind of plays them more passively and tries to
agree with you
reload.
completely. And that's something that definitely changes with the meta and gun updates and everything. But the UnderAgeProdigies, they would have closed this up already if they knew how to accurately shoot with their machine pistol. I'm not sure. They've kind of choked a few different scenarios and gunfights. I think they're getting a little...
I love this. I love this shot.
Simp. Nice shot, buddy. Nice shot.
Simp takes the head of Formal, and might as well just taking the leeway in this overall series. Goes for the quick scope onto Karma. Thankfully his team's there, but Karma ends up shutting down, like I said, Simp in the process. Up close to personal fight. Scump finds one. Now evening things out at a 2-on-2. Cellium from one side, TurnUp from the other. They have at least one player locked down, but at the worst time possible, TurnUp tosses up the Molotov. And it looks like he's going to drop in that scenario. Cellium now left all by himself. 1 versus 2 versus Scump and Crimsix. Will we see a round 10, or can Cellium get it done here with the FG42?
I mean, you can never count Scump and Crim, the heart of OpTic, basically, out of a round ever. And they're slowly just bringing this round back, this game back, round by round. Cellium's going to try to go for a quick plant and force them over by A. I'm really curious to see how he plays this. Are you thinking a late flank, or you think he's just going to battle him out at the cabin?
It's kind of a hard call to make. I know he's obviously trying to...
yeah, he has no choice now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of difficult to kind of call. I would imagine he's probably thinking that they're both here. Finds one on the Scump, and now tosses up the Molotov. A perfect use of it. Crimsix blind. And quite literally, he's nearly on fire. And Crimsix is able to find it, sprints through the flames, and wins this battle that time with the machine pistol of his own, as we will be seeing a round number 10 be forced here from the side of OG.
I mean, Cellium, he was hurt with the fire. I felt like all he had to do was jump out of the door and just spray and pray, and he would have died. But
there were 2 scenarios in that round burns where I believe it was TurnUp with the Molotov, and of course there at the end, Cellium. The Molotovs, they're not really like they were using them in certain situations.
Where's nameless when you need them?
Yeah, it's definitely true. But I feel like it's almost like they're relying on those Molotovs to kind of save them in gunfights. And had they pre-aimed for maybe half a second longer, that would have been 2 kills guaranteed. Cellium wouldn't have even had anyone to face off against whenever he was all by himself.
And you're looking at some first blood nades being traded off by both teams. Karma being dead and Cellium on the other side. And now we're currently with Scump
Oh.
taking out iLLey with a nice bait and switch from him, and I believe that is Crimsix.
Yes.
If I had to guess right. I know Formal is usually the one that sits behind him.
Close fight, and Crimsix
And
will
we're
get
going
that
to
one
round 11.
done. As we are heading to a round 11, a
I think
massive
OG's
comeback
taking
from
this.
OG.
There's just too much momentum on this side right now. You can feel it.
Insane stuff coming in from OpTic Gaming. As can they force the map 3, or will the UnderAgeProdigies close this one out? And this is the thing. This is when you look at the history, the past, kind of plays from these guys in OpTic Gaming. Of course, been in countless tournaments, been down at the biggest of stages. And you got to take the veteranship into mind. As it will be TurnUp, finding the first blood onto Crimsix. That is massive, being the fact that OpTic has lost a member and also being on that offensive side as well.
Yeah, it's looking a little slow here for OpTic. They're currently in a 2 versus 4 situation, but Karma ends up cleaning up TurnUp too easy and brings it to a 2 versus 3. They're definitely not out of this round by any means.
And iLLey peeking forward, able to shut down one, but Karma's there. Karma gets the headshot onto iLLey, 1 versus 2. 2 members left. Can Karma clutch things up for the squad, or is this the round that will end things out? Will this end OpTic Gaming's run here in the $10,000 Memorial Tournament? As Karma goes for the repeat, and yes, this one is done. The UnderAgeProdigies have done it, as they will take out OpTic Gaming 2-0 in the series and winning map 2 here in Armed Forest in round 11.
Yeah, that was a great plays by them. I mean, OpTic definitely had the momentum on their favor in the late half of this game, but it almost felt like the young Prodigies should have closed it out at some point in this map. They were multiple 1v1s and rounds away, and you're just looking at the the scoreboard right now. You have 11 kills from iLLey, 10 from TurnUp, 10 from Simp. Not one member of OpTic was able to reach double digits in that series. But regardless, it was a great map. And you can see why OpTic is known to have some of the best composure in the game. They slowly crawled back from, I believe, a 2-5 deficit and almost ended up clutching against some of the best, search and destroy players in the game.
Definitely. That was a insane series to watch. I believe as we do have a replay here coming in. Of course, this was Formal's retake on toward Cabin. This is one where I know all odds were set against him here in this play. Burns.
Even myself, I was like, there's no way Formal is winning this, and I was completely wrong. And
I love what he does. Of course, as he finishes off that kill, what you notice when he goes over toward the right is like in his mind, he's kind of like halving the map in two, like kind of like nailing, like it's almost as if like the bomb side is a square,
for sure.
And he's kind of slicing it as time goes on. So checking that right side, realizing okay, they're not going to be back toward here, and kind of limiting toward like a certain line sight, and just does a great job at side peeking. Realizes that he has to be toward a certain part of the door, and clutches at the 1 versus 2.
Just like you said, just perfectly sliced the middle, moved perfectly to the left, killed the guy inside of the cabin, and then just slowly stayed patient and got the 1 versus 1.
Slowing up the speed of time. Don't let me crash down tonight. I just wanna feel what I feel, what I feel. When it's just you and me.